Welcome to this episode of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode we're going all Delta. So I've got in a new Delta printer. It's the Biqu printer. Why can't they make these things you can pronounce? So I think it's the 3D Biqu Magician. So comes from Biqu.equipment. So I ran across this, and yes, I know Monoprice makes a small Delta printer. I think it's around 150, 160 bucks. But I wanted to try something different. So this was a $229. I got it off of Amazon. And so with this, I figured I'd go Delta. So let's go ahead and get this out, and we'll talk a little bit about it once I get it out of the packaging. By the way, it comes in this big tube type packaging. It's kind of odd. They call it a lipstick printer or something like that. Okay, so we got it unwrapped, and here it is. The build quality actually looks pretty impressive on the unit itself. The only thing really I don't like about it is the fact it does not have a heated build surface, which is a little bit disappointing in a printer that's $229 versus you know, the Monoprice Mini at about $160 that does have a heated bed. Now, the diameter of its print area is about 10 millimeters smaller than the Monoprice Mini, but I believe it's got another 30 millimeters of vertical height that the Monoprice doesn't have. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this printer. You know, everybody's going to do the Monoprice Mini, and I found this very interesting. So I don't know about modifications to the heated bed or how this will perform. We'll have to just kind of see. The other thing I found interesting about this is the auto leveling capabilities of this, and we'll take a look at that maybe a little bit more in a second. The extruder is actually pretty interesting. So it's in a sealed compartment here, and it's apparently has some sort of catch here to insert the filament and bring it down here, and the filament actually appears to come into the catch. If I can get a focus on this, let me just try getting a focus on this. Sorry for bumping, but it apparently comes in here and feeds down. So pretty interesting little design here for this. The hot end, or the business end of this, is actually pretty interesting too. Very compact. 3 fans. Looks like it cools the basically the heat breakdown here, but I don't see, well, where there's really any type of layer cooling with this. So because it does look like it blows out the bottom of this, but then it's going to hit the heat block, so I'm not so sure how that's going to be. The other thing I liked about it is it does have a touch screen, and so very much like the G-Tech E180, it has a touch screen. So we'll have to see how that goes. So let's check out what's in the bags here. And so obligatory USB cable. They must sell. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's a small one, but it's also bent. Look at that. That's interesting. There's quality control for you. Bent spatula. And we got a bunch of stuff here. So this is the spool holder. I kind of like the fact that that goes on the top. We have some, let me get moved around here. We got some Allen wrenches. Looks like we got some extra hot end nozzles and hot end parts, heat break, and some kind of screw. And then let me move this out of the way. There's still parts in there. Yeah, glue. They give you Elmer's glue, or at least a Chinese knockoff of Elmer's glue. Really? Come on. This day and age, we still need to have glue. Yeah, again, the heated bed is probably the biggest thing so far I'm a little bit disappointed in. But here's the interesting piece. It comes with a pressure sensor, and this pressure sensor actually connects into this sort of double-sided DuPont pin down here. I'm not sure I'm getting that in the frame. Let me get it up here. So this actually plugs in here, and then the idea is this is supposed to come down, and the hot end is supposed to come down and set on this, and when it hits this pressure sensitive, it's not conductive, it's pressure sensitive, it's supposed to mark the level. So that's a pretty interesting little piece of novelty there. I'm not sure how that's actually going to work out. We're going to have to see, because one of the things that it's supposed to do, and I wonder what happens when you run out of these or they wear out or whatever, but these pads, these foam pads, are supposed to come off and go on here, and then it's supposed to bump up against this, and this is, I don't know, supposed to slow it down, because these stick on there sort of like that. Also comes with a 2 GB SD card, because it's got a full-size SD card slot up here. And I'm assuming that this, oh yeah, we got the obligatory USB drive adapter thingamabob. So this pops in the SD card in here into your computer. The way it looks from the instructions, it uses a branded version of Cura, so no surprise there. And I'm supposing this is the wall wart itself. And not to be let down, it's a pretty good sized wall wart. It's very kind of light, but rather big. So nothing overly surprising there. So I'll have to see how this all works. It does come with a couple different manuals over here. Some kind of little piece here that fell out of the bag. I'm not sure what that's for. I have to keep an eye on that. Again, it comes with a manual, basically, more so showing how to use Cura. A little bit on the hot end where they show, sorry, not the hot end, but the automatic leveling, where they show how to assemble the pressure sensor and how to assemble that. It's kind of interesting. They call this stuff cotton. Interesting translation. And then they show how to go through the leveling. So after that, click on leveling, hook that up, and the machine goes and does its leveling. I'm assuming you don't have to do this quite every time. But then it does, you know, have putting glue on the platform again, really, and especially for PLA. I'll probably try blue painter's tape or something for that, because I'm not sure if PEI will work on here. Or I might try another type of surface, because PEI usually wants to be heated up a little bit for it to really work well. So I don't know. Have you guys had any luck using PEI cold? Let me know, because I can cut a piece out on the CNC for it. But the mechanical quality of this actually appears to be very good. I'm impressed. You know, basically injection molded parts, you know, nice linear rods, nice assembly. You know, I can't complain about the assembly of this. Came very well packaged, as you saw. So again, I think kind of neat. I liked the vertical height of this, and that's one of the reasons I decided to go with this. And I might actually even get the monoprice mini for $160. I mean, for Pete's sake, it's almost a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Now, one of the things with the Delta printers, I've kind of shied away from them in the past because of the wear factor. You know, I'm always, especially on the cheaper ones, because of these gimbals here. So, because they take a lot of movement, because the way that the head moves, obviously, in reference to printing. So these take a lot of wear. Now, on the higher end ones, these are typically magnetic, and so you don't get the wear you do on these mechanical ones. And these mechanical ones look fairly, I'm going to say it, I guess, cheap. But I guess for a $229 printer, what are you expecting? And so they're screwed down there. I don't know where you would get replacement ones of these. I'll have to do a little bit of homework to see if they're available out there, because I do see these wearing out in a year or so of heavy use. And again, I think, you know, this is not really designed for heavy 3D printing. I think it's designed more for schools, homes, just, you know, general casual printing. And if that's the case, I think these will last quite some time. But, you know, if you're going to be printing every day and doing crazy stuff like, you know, people who have YouTube channels like I do for 3D printing and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I don't think these will last very long. But other than that, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to set this up and get it printing. So I'm going to cover out probably the leveling and stuff in another video, let you guys see how that works. I just wanted to do a quick unboxing, let you know I got this in. I'm going to be doing some reviews on this. I still need to get around to do a little bit more with the BIGTREETECH E180 also. And so I'm kind of experimenting around with a lot of the smaller printers. So I got the monoprice, and I may actually get the monoprice version of this in just to compare the two. And I like the fact the monoprice has the heated bed. Big deal on this. So might be able to add one, but why the heck should I have to for $229? So anyways, hopefully give this video a thumbs up if you like where I'm going. Jury's still out with me on this printer. I'm not going to call it a killer or anything just yet. We'll see how it performs. And don't forget, Swag Shop's going to be up there. Subscribe over there, and we'll see you guys in the next video when we get this working. Cheers.
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on all of our projects.